So the purpose of this video is to go over what I'm doing to catch up with the action that took place while I was away on vacation. This video starts on October 10th, day session only. It's running at 3600 times speed, meaning every second is approximately 60 minutes or hour. And what you're seeing on your screen is on the left side is the profile being formed. This is volume-based profile, and on the right you'll see the screen of the 15-minute action. What we're interested in here is how the market traded and how it formed those profiles and how it tested levels, the quality of the tests, and the amount of volume traded at price when it did test. So far you can see here the market opened in the prior day's range, tested higher, pulled back to within a tick of the prior day's close, and an immediate rejection, and then the bulls took over. The market's pushing right back up to test the overnight high, so the overnight high stat is taken. Now it's stalling out, it's balancing. The VPOC had shifted up to 9650, which is the overnight VPOC, and it's rolling over. Here's the market testing again, so it tried to pull lower, and participants came in on the close, and they closed it high. The next day, gap down, further news on the government shutdown issue, and the market's trading in range and slightly out of value. It tests the LVN of the prior day at 92, stopping one tick short. Now it's in balance. Watch how this balance forms, creates the energy for the next move up. It moves back up to the LVN formed on 926 and pushes right through to test the prior day's VPOC at approximately 9550. And the expectation is for this to continue, and there it is.
So here it is pushing to the NVPOC at 1702.75. This was expected from the time the shutdown had begun, and we fell through. And it's pushing into the thinner portion of the volume profile on the left side. You see those orange bars. There's a thin area. Once it takes out 1702, the anticipated action would be for it to continue and zip right through to 1711 in fairly quick order. But you can see here it's instead pulling back. Again, further news. At this point, it is the 15th of October. Again, the times shown here are Chicago time. I'm putting the scale or the playback time right on the screen so you can see at what point this happened. But again, the market retests it gaps down. The expectation is for responsive buying, responsive selling, which it did right at the open, but then it couldn't push much further, and it turned around and started to push higher. So now the expected action is a push to 1711. Let's see if it does that as it pushes through the thin volume, as indicated on the composite profile. The big orange profile is the composite, and once we get through up there, then we're looking for it to push all the way through to the next high volume node, which is around 1712. Here's the market stalling. This is balance, and it looks like for whatever reason it's finding a reason to push lower. I don't know what news had occurred at this point, but the action was set up for it to go through, and eventually it will. Obviously, since we know now it's trading at 1754. So, but how it does it, that's the key element of this playback. This is why I do these playbacks at high speed, is to watch how the action took place. The long tails are left on the buy side, so there's a buying tail when new lows are made, and that's usually an indication that the low prices would only remain for a temporary period of time. Here we are back again above 1702. for an additional attempt to get that to get back up to 1711. There it is, 1711 on a push higher on Wednesday the 16th. Markets trading the thin volume. You can see that thin outline on the right chart against the price scale. There's a thin outline that is also a composite, and the market is pushing right through that thin area all the way up to 1713.50. Ignore the overnight high and low indicators. They're not working properly on the playback for a reason. We won't go over that. Here's the market shifting the VPOC up to 1711.75. And then breaking the IB high. So the anticipated action here is for continued trend higher. This is an uptrending market. Tess puts in a double top. Basically, it's 1717. So it managed to push all the way through the 1700, all the way up to 1712. So this is good news coming through, and the market's picking up on it. I believe this is the day after this crisis had come to an end with an agreement between the House of Representatives and the Senate. So again, the anticipation is for this to continue higher because the buying on the open was an open drive. Another day is done. It is Thursday the 17th now, 8:30 in the morning Chicago time. Market opens below value in range, so the anticipated action is responsive buying higher, and that's what we get. They test the prior day's VPOC. They test, here we go, that they just tested the prior day's close at 1716. Slight hesitation, but you can see the market's not backing off, and it's going to continue to 1723.75 being the next target, which is the yearly high. Here it is at 1721, 1722. Continuing higher, and it's within a few ticks of the year high, and there it is, the year high taken out. Another trending profile. Watch as that VPOC keeps shifting up as the profile moves higher, causing the market to temporarily stall. Here it is, testing again the VPOC and stalling, and again, new highs. There's a double top, so it's likely to break, despite the belief that double tops are a show of weakness and sellers stepping in. I don't see it that way. I statistically, double tops will break. Past performance not indicative of future results. Next day, gap higher. Opens right at 1733.50, and the expectation here is for responsive selling, and there it is, responsive selling, looking for a test of 1728.50. The prior day closed at the high, so that's a pretty strong close on the prior day. Responsive selling brings it down to 1730.25, still a 2-point gap below. And it looks like it's having a hard time keeping those low prices. Again, the buying tail you can see down there to 1730.25 before buyers come in. That's another show of strength, and it's pushing back up to 1740. Watch how this is being done. You can see the volume accumulating. On the upside, we have a double distribution profile here with 1736.25 being the separator. This is a Friday. We're looking at a Friday trade now. So this 1736 acts as a key reference point for splitting the profile from the day before. If it's unable to get through that 1736, expect higher action. If it does break through the 1736 quarter, you expect a fairly quick flush. Here's the test of 1736. The expectation here is for a quick flush down to 1734. Building volume lower. See how bulky it's getting on the downside. The expectation is for it to drop. There's the drop. 1734. No, I'm not playing this back based on what I saw. This is the first time I'm looking at this action. Profile now looks balanced. See how the profile filled in nicely and it's looking balanced. The market closes, balanced profile leads to imbalance. Market gaps up. Again, expecting responsive selling on the open, a test of the prior day's range, unable. So off they go with the buying. Strong open, looks like a drive. This would be a caution sellers, although it did test fairly deep. And for whatever reason, and I wasn't here on the 22nd of October, for whatever reason, there's a massive rotation down, and the IB low is breached, which is a surprise to me. But this leaves a clear mark on the action between 1755 and 1743. That area seemed to have caused a quick sell-off, and I'm not sure what the news was at that time. Attempting lower, unable, with a retest at 1744.50, cannot hold the open, and cannot hold the prior day's range. So my expectation is for this to actually test higher now. Market closes right at VPOC and opens below. Looks like it opened in range out of value, and then now you get the responsive seller back to 1738.75. So again, this looks like it's earnings or news driven action, as it's not continuous. Look at the overlap on these bars. Holy cow. Very whipsawy action. Wednesday the 23rd. Market tests lower. Decent amount of volume happening right in the middle of the range, so it's choppy balance. This is coiling. You can see on the composite how the volume's starting to fatten up. The composite's thin above, thin below, and it's starting to fatten up in the middle. Very important to note, market's imbalance. So expecting imbalance to break out, break this market out of its current range, of course, to the upside, looking for it to test higher into the prior day's range. And the close is around the corner. There's the cash close. Here's the futures close. Fairly balanced profile on the thin side. Market opens above range, above value, tests right back to 1740 VPOC. You see that right there, 1740, the prior day's range, and starts to find bidders. Now trading within the Tuesday profile, the 1022 profile, so that profile had quite a bit of volatility in it, so expect that to be retested.
New highs poo.
That area of the profile, the composite, is fairly thin and is getting filled in now. Again, this is Thursday the 24th. Balance, choppy, back and forth action. The delta is fairly flat in here before the buyers step in. And there's the test of the prior day's VPOC to the tick at approximately 1749. Right on the edge of the screen here, 1749. Pulls right back to 1745 and a quarter. That's a 4-point swing. And then the market closes the afternoon right up against the prior day's close, which is at 49.50. The next day it opens out of range, out of value, of course, and then pushes higher right at the open, and then responsive selling. The expectation here was for 45.50, at least 46.75. This is what I'm anticipating here, 46.75 retest before it might find buyers for continuation of the trend. It got to 47.50, 46.75 anticipated. There's the 46.75, and now you could see the profile is getting fat, coiling. So anticipate a break higher here. Tested the prior day's range and close. Unable to hold the prior day's range, so expect a break of the 53.75. There's the break of 53.75. This is Friday the 25th. pushes right up and through to 54.75, and it's done.